Hello everybody, today we are playing a game of Fiasco, and it's called Love from the Other Side. It's very specifically, I wanted Arel and Renic in a game to study magic, and to study how this world's magic works, because Seasonal's magic, the side of the planet that we're on, works very different from folk songs magic, the side of the world that Arel's from. And Renic, thought he understood how magic worked, back in the liminal plane, and he shows back up and everybody's talking about vibes and spirits and bullets that hurt people's AP, and if you get to zero, if you run out of magic you could die. It's a very different world. And Charity came from a different world entirely again, and her magic's been running amok since she got here. And then we have Midnight, who of course signed up for a cursed magical timeshare, and he has lost 9/10 of his magical ability and 9/10 of his shadow. So that is where we are. I am told that I'm supposed to start introducing myself lately, so I am Alan, your resident GM. I run all of these games, and I hope you guys enjoy them. And as far as players go for today, we have Renic, previously mentioned, played by Imperial.
Hello.
We have Midnight, who is played by Kuari.
Hello, your resident curse eater here.
We got Charity, who is played by Jacob.
Hello.
And Arel, who is played by Eris.
Hello.
Alright, everyone. Today we are playing Fiasco, and Fiasco is a game about just storytelling. So you guys have a lot of narrative control in this one. You don't have to ask me if something is a certain way. You can tell me, and the only time I will put my foot down is if it's been a pre-established thing that just you might not have heard, and you might not have caught that game that it was mentioned. But so the way that the game goes is I will deal you all cards. And then we will go clockwise. And you put down a card that establishes part of your relationship with the person next to you. And it's fine if you don't think your character knows them very well. Absolutely fine. Because in this game, you are all have been sent on a mission to go to Dyad and talk to Thaddeus. I will be playing Thaddeus today. Thaddeus is the cat librarian of Dyad. He has been trying to study as much about the magical world as he can, although he has absolutely no magical powers. He is just a cat. So, I will deal everybody's cards right now. Okay, I believe I have dealt everybody their cards. You should have 7 cards in your hand. And they will be anything from relationships to needs to locations. Relationships, needs, location, and objects is what they are. And you play them between 2 characters. So I will start with Thaddeus, and I will put down a card that establishes his relationship with Renic. We will go once around clockwise, and then we will turn around and go the other way. So,
do we all play whatever card? You play a relationship card, I gotta play a relationship card?
Nope, you can play whichever card that you think, and go broad with them, crazy broad. You do not need to you do not need to read the card exactly for what it is and say, that's what it is. So I have friendly rivals in my hand. I don't think Renic and Thaddeus would be friendly rivals. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. But I will play this card, this location card. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to hold down the button again. I'm playing the location card between me and Renic that is Abona's Wields, which is, to everybody else, you guys don't know this, but Eris and Thaddeus, you two know, that this is that forest. The forest to the west of Dyad. Right here. That's what it's called to everybody else. It's just not called that here. They just call it the Dark Forest. So yeah, Renic, if you have a card that you would like to put between you and Arel.
Let me look. Yes. I like this one.
What we got? I'm gonna make it big real quick and then I'll shrink it back down.
Sure.
You two have been having the same dreams.
Yes. Since returning to what used to be Liminal. He doesn't necessarily know that, but they have been having the same dreams.
What do you think the dreams are? Like, you guys can discuss this amongst the two of you too.
So what have you been seeing each night?
I'm not entirely certain what we have been seeing. I feel like it's very abstract, but
Yeah, I've seen a lot of specifically shapes. I'm guessing they make out a scene, but the exact specifics I'm not certain of.
right. And it's been very, very ephemeral. Like here one moment and gone the next, and hard to pin down.
Yes, I've been trying to keep words on, like a note on everything, but it feels like the details change each night slightly, to where then when you wake up it's just gone.
Absolutely. It's very. I haven't been able to even keep it in mind long enough to record what I've been seeing.
Yeah, it seems something important, but if two people are having the same dream, then it could be important, but I couldn't tell, to say the least.
Indeed.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And Arel, for midnight, if you guys need like a refresher on who the characters are, go ahead and ask, and we can share a little bit of background information about everybody's characters too, just to make sure we all know.
I believe I clicked the 7 right above my head for to see my hand.
I'm sorry, you can't see your hand, you said?
Oh, I was trying to figure out. I figured it out.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. Click that 7. I'm sorry. I need to be more clear about this.
And if you need to read them, you can click on them, and they'll blow up really big, so you can read the cards.
Yes, that's also true. If you click on them, it'll go
And
fill
read
your
some of
whole
mine.
screen. I also tried to like make them not have a ton of like a lot of my really wordy. There's one or two that are very wordy, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty scared. Sorry. I think this might be an interesting card to play.
and if you there we go. What is the object here? It's a map found in an old textbook. What was the textbook you were looking in?
So since I've been at the place, I've been looking at any of the books left around in the ship, and see, the name of it was, I couldn't remember exactly, but I found this map inside of it. I haven't seen the location before. I was wondering if you had.
Yeah, Midnight. Where's the map to?
Ooh, Trying to think what a good place that Midnight would be familiar with would be.
You don't have to be super familiar with it yourself, because the crew did get detailed maps of this size, and as you are a scout, you would have gone over those maps. So you could basically click anywhere on this side if you want it to be on this side. Like, if you want to deal with it today, you're going to want it on this side, just for the record.
Okay. So if it's something that would catch his interest, then I would definitely say let's see. Is the clicking going through?
I'm not seeing you clicking. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, yeah. Over in
the forest.
Over in the wheels? All right.
Yep.
And just for fun, Arel, what was the subject of the book? Like, what class would I be taking to read that textbook?
I was surprisingly, it was a book, and possibly ironically for Arel's, well, misfortune of being there, it was a botanical book.
Ah, a little bit of botany. Okay. All right, Midnight. What's the link between Midnight and Charity?
I think the best one of what I have would probably be one having a plan to help the city.
Have a plan to help the city, absolutely. What's the plan? Or if not, you don't have to tell me all the plan, but what's the overarching thing?
Well, with everything that was going on with the flowers and the connection between them and Charity, and how Midnight has been kind of tracking whoever seems related to that, maybe we found some information in that investigation that could be useful for Silver Thimble's industry or something along those lines.
Okay. And Charity, what's your part in this plan?
Hold on, there's two I gotta see. Okay. I'm gonna put that there. Oh, wait, sorry. That my card, right? You mean my part in Midnight's plan? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to play that card yet.
No, that's fine. It can just chill right there for a second.
Well, we know now that there was something that came in after Charity. Okay, there's something that came in after I fed my blood to the roses. Someone that smells of brimstone. We know this. I suppose we're going to be trying to track that down, and also she is sharing her knowledge that the roses, what they're doing right now, is going west.
Oh, absolutely. That would be a time with Midnight, if you remember which direction the smell of brimstone went. If you don't, I can fill you in, but...
I think you said it went east, I want to say you said?
They did, the smell of, the lady who smells of brimstone, or the lady of ash, went east, where the flowers went west, and they don't seem to have anything to do with each other anymore. We learned that from the last time Midnight played. But both of them still are out there. Like the plants are still totally a problem, but...
They just went in opposite directions. Then that makes me curious as to what is in the east that the person is going for. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, that's a fun thing for you two to study. And this is the card you're playing?
Yes.
I'm going to make it big so people on the stream can see it real quick. To solve a problem, even if you don't fully understand it. Is there a particular problem you are looking to solve?
Why is it that her magic influenced the flowers so strongly?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if she can bring that back under control or to stop them from... She's afraid that the further out they get, there's a chance that they're going to run into something else that's going to alter them again.
Yeah, for sure. And now we've gotten to Thaddeus, and and coming to Thaddeus with that, because Thaddeus has all the books. He has the biggest library on this side, a non-Silver Thimble library on this side of the planet. Or maybe Hymnal might have some more stuff, but... And I think because you... So in my head, this is how it's going to work out. Charity walks in to Thaddeus's library, and she's just poring over the books, and she has like dozens of botanical books everywhere. And she has like all the stuff that he has on magic, but the people of Dyad aren't much of magic users themselves. They've seen magic and they're not afraid of magic, but it is almost like you guys have superpowers to them. And like he's like helping you, and he's like dropping books on the thing, and he's like bringing you coffee in the night while you like pour over these books. And Thaddeus comes up to you, and he's just like, "So the Wander crew does a lot of sailing, right?"
Yes, they do, and they do some flying, though I think that's less successful than the sailing.
And I've heard, I've met some of the crew, and like, is it true that some of them used to be pirates?
Well, the Wonder Crew takes all sorts. I do believe. It is entirely possible that perhaps some of them have had some piracy in the ground.
And he's just like really said a lot about like some of the pirates. Like, it's just like, I heard the captain used to be a pirate. And now I am going to play Thaddeus's need. Ooh. And don't forget about that card. We're not using the hymnal card right now. His need is to study the 7 pirate queens. And as you try to study the goings on in the forest, he is going to be like prying you for information, and like all of you, like once everybody like gets in the same scenes, he's going to be trying to get information from all of you about what you know about pirates.
I know OOC. I know a bit about like what happened when they went for treasure.
Yeah, you can share that information. The information you think your character might know. I'm not sure you guys know about the going into the crocodile, Paul. But you guys do know about the finger dogs becoming pirates, and you know about there's a character named Bonnie that is also looking for pirate queens. Information on the pirate queens. He's the foremost expert.
Do we know about those dreams where the one of them, the Sea Devil?
You do, yeah. You know that the Sea Devil, people were having nightmares about the Sea Devil on that ship. Yep, you know that as well. Okay. So now it's Charity, expanding on the relationship between you and Midnight.
This looks interesting enough. And perhaps in her studies, she has come across some mention that there's an ancient tomb, but nobody knows.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's tome.
Tome.
Did I spell tome wrong?
It's tomb. It looks like tomb on my screen.
My bad. I did that one wrong. I'm sorry, everybody. That's supposed to be a tome. That's all me.
Okay, well, tomb would have been right up the church. No, okay, well, tome still works.
We tomb. 100%.
Thaddeus has been bringing her books, so I mean,
yeah, let her rock. I don't know what the tomb is.
Heard rumors that it's in the. According to some of the books I've said, it's very vague. They're in the east. They went. So if your person went to the east, there's a good chance. They've gone to one tomb. What's to stop them from going to another tomb?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
And if they get to a tomb, it's... In my experience, ancient tombs of unknown origin are unknown for a reason. And it is very bad if it falls into the wrong hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down.
Yeah.
1 second. I have to cross-check a map of mine. I'm gonna say that this actually goes really fun for me. So, you are looking through ancient tomes. Like, Charity is looking through the, not ancient tomes. You're looking through the books, and, like, you do see mention of what you think says an ancient tomb. And, but, like, you talk to Thaddeus about it, and Thaddeus is just like, yeah, the language isn't very clear. Like, that could be tomb in that language, but it also means home. And I believe, yes, this is Plumbob to the east.
Plumbob.
Yes.
Ancient home, though. Interesting how languages can be translated and mistranslated.
Yeah, and like, somebody can spell something completely wrong and look like an idiot in front of people. It's fascinating.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Absolutely. So, like, yeah, I'm just in the setup phase. We have already, you guys' plans to help the city at finding, like, the Woman of Ash. You know where she may have headed, and that's fun. All right, Midnight, how is your relationship with Arel?
Of what I have, I think this one might be the best one. I think with Midnight devouring that curse and being kind of in a state of weakness, I think he is looking to prove that he has value outside of his combat and magical abilities, that he has other skills that he can bring to the table, and wants to demonstrate that to the crew. So that might really be driving some of his interest in.
Yeah, I could see you joining this like particular job and help find like locations in the woods with that don't involve like combat, as like you trying to prove yourself to the Wander Crew for sure. I think that's great.
Yeah. You'll be doing fine on this mission, friend.
And just like teaming up with people you wouldn't normally team up with. So yeah, it's just like it all works. It works really good also with the like trying to break out of the mold of like Invoker Squad that you fell into last season, like because you did say that's something you want Midnight to work with new people, and that I feel like that's really good right there.
Yeah.
All right, Arel.
Oh.
So you and Renic have been having the same dreams. You two might not know about it yet, but
Yeah, I think this card might play off that pretty well.
Okay, saw something you can't easily explain. Now, like I tried to write that one ambiguously, so that did you see Renic do something that you can't explain? Did you both see something that you can't easily explain? Or did he see you do something that he can't easily explain?
I believe we've both seen this thing, but we can't really explain it except to each other.
Okay.
I feel like the only way we have to describe it is in terms of the shifting pattern of shapes that we've been seeing in these dreams.
Yes, but I've definitely seen it outside of the dreams, more so.
Yeah. Especially since I got back here.
Oh, Renic, were you having these dreams before you came back to the planet?
That was my thought.
Okay, yeah. Fucking let it rock.
And since Renic seemed to come back, these dreams have they've become more frequent in time. Either that or my study of the magics has furthered these dreams. But seeing full-on aberrations in person, it's bewildering to say the least. I believe you would agree, Renic?
Oh, absolutely. They've definitely become more frequent since we arrived back to this place. I don't know. I had maybe one or two while we were out exploring, and now it's just been way more often.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't even. It goes for blending the line of dream to reality. Not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm-
it's quite disconcerting.
Hopefully, one of the books we find tonight, we can possibly get an answer to it.
That would be great.
Absolutely. So, and Renic, so Thaddeus wants to hire the wander crew to study the forest to the west. Like he wants you guys to study that forest. But good news, Arel found a map that Midnight identified as in this forest anyway. And like Charity has already been through the forest, and Arel wants to go. Knows how to like pass through the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the next part of the relationship between you and Thaddeus? Now, if you haven't played the games where Thaddeus is, he is a very eager to read librarian cat. He is smart but naive. He basically has extreme ADD and wanders off. The second you mention a book title, he'll just wander off to go find that book.
Sure. So this was kind of what I was thinking. Kind of in the same vein that, Renic's magic has not been working quite correctly, or the same magic here is different than what he is used to, and things are just weird now. So he came to Thaddeus to get a different perspective on what, how magic is working, because Thaddeus himself does not have any magic, but he has, the second largest collection of books outside of the Silver Thimble, and maybe different ones.
Absolutely. I agree. Right, so I have an idea. Now, tell me if you guys think this is a good starting point. I think we start this game in Thaddeus's library. Like, Charity's been there already, and like Charity's sitting there. She's got her cups of coffee or tea, whatever it is that Charity drinks, and just like a table in front of her that just has all of these books laid out. And then also like a library push cart right behind her. And just like going through all of the books. Also, yes, what does Charity drink? What kind of hot beverage is Charity's?
Coffee. Definitely coffee. Right now, to stay awake. She has not been sleeping much.
Love it. All right, so like you have all the coffee you could need. Like he's just like Thaddeus is at a certain point. It's just like I'll leave the pot.
Thank you so much. You've been nothing. You've been a godsend throughout all this.
1 second, I'm just typing out for a new map that I was not 100% prepared to do, and I was silly to not. So he's just like, absolutely. And then it's like the rest of you walk in, and it's raining outside right now. Renic, does Renic walk around with an umbrella?
Absolutely, he does.
Alright. Sorry, I keep messing this up. Give me 1 second. Finally, Jesus. Alright. Sorry about that. So,
He walks around with a brick that he has shaped into an umbrella.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's very fun. Yeah, every once in a while, you guys might see Renic walking around the city or like walking around the Silver Thimble, and he doesn't walk up to doors. Like he sets a brick down and then a door appears and he walks through it. Or like he has a brick that becomes an umbrella, or he has a brick that becomes like roller skates. It's really weird. Also, he was in outer space for a while, everybody. But yeah, so that's what I was thinking, like, Renic with his forearms comes in, like, does the, like, opening and closing an umbrella outside the door thing, like a trench coat on, like, soaked. And Thaddeus just turns and he's just like, hello, Renic! I'm glad to have you come. It's like he like looks over at Charity. He's like, I'll be right back, dear. If you need anything, let me know. And he just walks up to Renic.
Thaddeus, it is good to be back. It seems your collection has grown while I was away.
So yes, they've been reclaiming a lot of the books that were stolen from me and were then in a tower that was set on fire and then strangely turned into a bunch of plants. But they fell into the water, and we managed to salvage many of them.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it.
Okay. This is the part where I need to tell everybody how turns in Fiasco work. In Fiasco, we are gonna do scenes, and I'm gonna do the starting scene as Thaddeus in this library. I have established that is what the scene I'm going to do. So at any point, one of you can grab a positive or a negative card from over on the right side here, and just set that in the center. And once that's in the center, I will know how the scene has to end. And at any point during it. Now, if you don't want anybody else to have that kind of power over you, or you just don't have a scene in mind, you can ask somebody else for a scene, and then you decide how it ends. Does that make sense for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so.
Okay, I'll give this example. So at any point during this scene, go ahead and put the positive or negative thing in the middle. And so Thaddeus is welcoming Renic in. He's just like helping him hang up his coat, and he's just like, now I asked you here because I heard that you are very good with linear thinking. Some people are a little too abstract. I need a straight answer.
I see.
It's like, I need just a straight answer about these forests. Like, I know that many of them are just like, it's cursed. I don't know what that means. Like, how do I get through it? Like, is there just like, can I like tap a certain number? Is there like a trinket that I can carry? Like, that's what I'm looking for. And I found like so much mixed information. And right as he says that, and like he's guiding Renic to the books that he has set aside on the subject of the forest, that is where I think Arel and Midnight come into here with a copy of that botany book and the map to like the forest. It's just like, oh, I'm busy today. I'll be right back, Renic. And he goes and he like helps.
Of course.
He goes and tries to help Arel out of her coat and like hang it up. It's just like, welcome to so much of the Wander crew here today.
Yes, thank you, Thaddeus. Just another book. Come to discuss a book that I'd found here recently.
Oh, which one are we looking at? And you see him like reach back and put his like a little tiny pair of spectacles on the bridge of his nose.
Arel, in the podcast, flips the book around so that the cover faces Thaddeus as she bends her knee a bit so that obviously she's a bit tall. He can see it better.
Okay. So he takes the book and he's just like, oh, this is one of the books that was stolen. The Wander... I mean, I hired some people to retrieve these for me. This is the... And he reads the top of it. It just says, A Garden of My Own. It's just like, I've been looking for this for a while.
Yeah, I found it recently. It was a good read, actually. Except for the map inside of it.
A map?
I believe so. I passed it to Midnight not long ago to have a look at the location.
Yeah, it seems to lead to somewhere in the forest. Not exactly sure why this book would have a map to the forest, but it is interesting to say the least.
It's just like, yes, a garden of my own is, and he like opens up. It's a journaling. It's less a like straight botanical like textbook. It's significantly more a journal of some call him a madman. He was dead set on like growing plants to such a ridiculous size that they something about, and like I will take that positive, like something about what if a plant could feed off of more than simply water and light. Like he began, now there are like back and forth ideas on this. Like he was attempting two things. One, he was trying to get a plant to eat nothing but magic. Like, and yeah, I'm sure, well, you would know more about that type of thing being from folklore and...
Yeah.
Can Charity hear this right
yeah,
now?
definitely Charity can hear this.
They'll see her like suddenly sit up and like turn slowly at her and look over there and just kind of like look at them for just a moment. Listening.
Yes, a plant that like can subside on magic, but like I was more interested, and he flips to the back pages, and like this is the he's like, no, and the back pages are the pages that have handprints of like somebody's burnt hand, like somebody's hand burnt this page, so many of the words are covered up, almost like carbon paper situation. And he's like, with the lost wording, I can remember something about the idea of a tree being able to subsist on knowledge alone.
Interesting indeed.
And yeah, go ahead.
Wait, you said... did I hear you right? You said knowledge alone?
Yes. Like that is what
Oh no.
I don't have the full information here anymore, obviously. But I have heard there are other volumes of these. And if at anytime you can turn them up, if anytime they turn up, if you could bring them to me, I would reward you handsomely.
Charity gets up and says, may I take a look at that book?
Absolutely. And
you said this was written by someone who was trying to... I'm sorry, was he trying to create plants that could subsist on it, or was this pure theory?
I believe this was all theory craft.
Uh-huh. And she starts flipping through the book, and she goes...
One second. I think that is the end of Thaddeus's scene. So,
yeah.
Like we can definitely pick up Charity. Like you have that book. You have that book to look through for the future. We're gonna go clockwise. Now, Renic, you can either continue the scene from here and like include all of these people, or we could move locations entirely. Treat it like a movie. We don't need to see ourselves walking somewhere. We can just suddenly be there.
Okay. Does that apply to time as well?
Yes, it also applies to time. And like you could go backwards too.
Okay. I think at this point we should cut to Renic having like 2 tables worth of books open about the different things of the forest, trying to correlate data pieces.
Yeah, I love it.
So I imagine he's wielded the equivalent of a chalkboard or whatever that Thaddeus has over, and is writing on it with one hand, and doing the whole referencing books with the other, muttering him to himself, and I don't know, what do we do? I think at that point he finally realizes other people are here.
Yeah, does something about like the equations that you're writing, like some kind of subconsciously, they ripple a shape at the same time for both you and Arel?
I like that, yeah. Let's see. Let's put it I'm gonna roll a die here because I don't know what else to do.
Sure.
Sure, we get an 8-sided figure that just like pops out of the equations.
And that like the only you and Arel see though, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arel, what were you doing right before like you look up and you see Renic's chalkboard?
I was talking. I noticed to Charity that Charity seemed to have knowledge as well of the plants, which I was quite interested to talk more about, but upon seeing that figure, I went into fight or flight mode.
All right, so yeah, I think the room is like crazy tense all of a sudden. Like Arel was on her way to talk to Charity and then like stopped and like saw the math problem. Renic, did you go rigid when you saw the shape, or?
I think he makes like a startled noise and, says more to himself, well, that's interesting. I've never seen one of those while awake. Kind of more to himself, but, startled, so obviously loud enough for anybody else to hear it.
Yeah. And so we would just see like numbers on a board, like Charity and Midnight.
Yeah, Charity and Midnight would just see numbers on a board.
With Arel and Renic seeing that in person, we could possibly try sketch it if we could on the chalkboard.
I think that's immediately what he does. It's one of those like flip top chalkboards, so he just tosses it over and immediately just like starts trying to draw with the chalk that he's got.
Alright, so Charity, Midnight, or Arel, how do you guys think this one ended for him? Like, as he's drawing it, is it a positive or is it a negative?
Choose chaos.
Oh, we want. Okay, let me.
Oh, did I?
That's
Yeah,
fine. I can take care of it. There
Okay.
you go. Oh, so yeah, if there's a negative for Renic, what goes wrong or what happens as you're drawing it?
So, let's see. He's sketching out this like. I kind of like what someone in the chat said. It's almost non-Euclidean in that it doesn't line up with the way most like shapes work as he's trying to draw, and so he's getting increasingly frustrated. It doesn't. No, that's not right. No, it can't be that way. No. This is all wrong. And in a rare display of temper, he smashes the chalkboard.
Sadie's like, ah! And he just goes and like picks things up. He's just like, what's going on?
I don't know. I got so this shape popped out of the equations I was drawing and correlating the data pieces. And I was trying to draw it before it, like went away. It's one of those like a waking dream type of things, and then nothing was working right, and it wasn't lining up, and I just got so frustrated. I'm so sorry. Here, let me. And he starts like picking pieces up, to at least clean up the mess he has made.
And Thaddeus will drop a little. It's just like, people with them dreams lately, like a lot of people have just dreams coming true, nightmares coming true. I'm not kidding. I saw a kid running down the street naked as a jaybird with his whole class chasing him the other day. Like, those flamingos are causing real problems with this.
Maybe I'll have to look into that.
Absolutely. So, Arel, where do we find Arel, and what are you up to? And again, we can warp anywhere in the world. You guys have access to transportation.
Now, I think this scene would follow a few seconds after the board is broken. As, like I mentioned, Arel went into fight or flight, which prompted her to summon the staff that she had. And if anyone remembers, that came from the plants, which that jogs her memory to talk to Charity, since she clearly also has knowledge on those plants. So Charity,
Yes.
From your reaction to the book, I'm assuming you're familiar with those, aren't you?
You could say that. Have you heard about the roses? Well,
I'm pretty familiar with them.
right. So, on my first day arriving here in this world, I made a mistake. I fed the roses some of my blood, and it altered them. They had my eyes and the blossoms themselves, and they started kind of... Well, it was an ecological disaster, to put it mildly, in the forest. But there were other influences upon it. It wasn't just my magic. Someone came in after me, and it seems that these roses in particular are highly sensitive to different types of magic, and what ended up happening is they became, well, like vampires, essentially. And they defiled graves and used the spirits and the ghosts to maintain the shape.
Interesting.
I'm not certain why. I'm not certain what they did after me. It used my magic, and I am... She raises a gloved hand. She says, "My magic is rooted in necromancy."
I see.
And that apparently influenced it. And according to this book, it's fascinating that other plants could also be influenced by magic. And other things.
From what I've seen, they were a lot more parasitic when I came to contact them, choosing to leech onto people to drain them of magic. But to a degree, you could overwhelm them with magic.
Yes. Yes, they were a bit parasitic, as you said. In fact, one of them almost infected me, and had it not been for B+, well, I'm not sure what happened with her was a good thing, but seems okay now.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys haven't seen B+. You've seen B-. Like, there is
Yeah.
a little bee that just, like, travels around, but yeah, we haven't seen the big one.
Well,
That one seemed to take a life of its own.
yeah. I think you might find this interesting. After our last encounter with those roses, not anyone else, managed to get, well, luckily enough, I say luckily, to gain this, as you can see her staff appear from her hand, and then shrink back in, leaving only a small thorn in her palm. It seems whatever magic was out there for the plants, with the right temperament, can become bonded to a person.
That is interesting, because while we were encountering the rose dragon, there was another plant that it had my magic in it. I sensed my magic, and it was coming for my magic. Malone put it to sleep, and then we dealt with the dragon, but by the time we came back, it had mysteriously vanished. I have my suspicions as to who might have taken it. But looking at that thorn, it makes me curious that the plants have preferences now.
They could do.
And in that case, being not of this world, when I came, everything was so chaotic. There was a massive storm, and I thought for a moment that this place was made of nothing but necromancy for all that I experienced. So it's kind of curious if this is something that's endemic to the forest. My presence inadvertently stirred something. Do you think that it might be prudent to examine the forest some more to see if perhaps this is not so isolated? Maybe it's not just roses.
It would be an interesting find to maybe take a blank book with us so that we can do our own studies based on the research that was left in this book.
Yes, exactly. And I would love to know what was on these last pages and why they were, well, burned or marked, as it were. Something is vital in these last pages. Thaddeus said there's other versions of this. I mean, other tomes, or the volumes. There we go. Sorry, I haven't had enough coffee today.
No worries. I don't think any of us have.
Oh yeah, that feels like a good scene. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely ended positively. So Midnight, what you got?
I think Midnight's going to pull Arel aside for a conversation about the forest. So, Arel, was it? You've been through the forest before, have you not?
I have.
I think there's been a lot of people trying to get through the forest by force. And I've been beginning to suspect that we may have been going through it all wrong. And I'm wanting your opinion on this. That guardian, was Lindworm, was it?
The Tetzelworm.
Tetzelworm. Tetzelworm. How did you run into it during your trip to the forest?
I did.
Is there any chance that we might be able to negotiate with it for a safe passage to maybe check out the location on that map?
Now, although I wasn't personally able to, there was the member I was with at the time managed to commune with it to a degree, and for lack of better words, it helped. We managed to get safe passage through it. It seems it's got a negative connotation with those plants. It does not like those. So, as long as you are getting rid of those plants, it should ignore you.
Okay, well...
Occasionally, it might, although dangerous, checking up on it to make sure it isn't affected itself would possibly be useful. I believe Iskra was the one to free the Tetzelworm last time.
Okay, well... I'm not sure if we'll be able to speak with them right now, but... What did they do before to get that safe passage? Was it basically assisting them with a task, or just with the flowers?
They removed the flowers from the web.
Okay. Well, truth be told, I do feel like that the book that map was in, it mentioned a plant that sounds very much like a plant I'm familiar with. And I know the person that messed with the flowers is looking for knowledge on something. So I'm wondering if perhaps we can talk to the Tetzelworm and bring up the fact that the person who did the damage might be involved and that we're trying to track them down. Do you think this might be something worth trying?
I mean, anything's worth trying. We never know until we do it.
Okay, well, I guess we could try going to the edge of the forest and call for it. I mean, I don't think it goes outside of the forest, so maybe if we call it somehow and keep out of its territory until it gives permission, maybe we won't be eaten.
Yeah. I would suggest bringing it up with the others, see if they agree.
Yeah, okay. Let's go talk to them then.
Yeah, Charity or Renic, do you guys think this scene ends good or bad? And even what does good or bad mean for this conversation? What is the positive outcome that you are looking for, Midnight? just everybody agrees to go, or?
If that would probably be the positive outcome for this part of the scene, since I'm assuming we would want the actual meeting to be a later scene.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think it's positive. I don't see any way that it particularly goes negative, so I'm just gonna slide that positive over.
That sounds good.
All right, Charity. Everything up until this point has happened, and what scene do you want to do? Do you want to do the scene of them walking up to you, or do you want to do like the scene of you guys have already agreed and you're just there?
Charity is going to agree. She wants to make amends for what happened, so terrified.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah,
definitely wants to go to the forest.
Okay, we're just gonna like cut straight to the forest?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. And just to check, we only play the cards when we're doing the...
Sorry, what was that?
We only play the cards like object relationship. We're going around each other, right?
Yeah, just that first time.
Okay.
If you guys have like an object card or like if you have a card that you think suddenly would make the game more fun, go ahead and play it. It's not the normal rules, but like I'm fine with it. Like if you guys think playing a card, putting one of your cards down would be funny, or like not just funny, but like good, then do it.
Okay.
All right. So we get to the edge of the forest. Like what you guys see at the edge of the forest is just like it's like lush green. It's just like you do not see any of those rose bushes anymore. They have all cleared out of this area. Some of the ground is still slightly torn up, and you can see the scars that some of the bushes left on the trees, as though they were like strangle vines. And some of these trees will never recover from that. But you guys are like right at the edge of that forest.
Okay. Charity will pause and kind of look at the scarred trees and kind of run a gloved hand over it and just... How do you summon the Tetzelworm? Does it just kind of show up when people enter its domain? I don't... I'm going to go ahead and warn you, he's probably going to be very angry with me. But I do wish to be as respectful as possible. She looks back at the others and Eris and...
I think basically through all of your studies today, all of you would have the knowledge that the Tetzelworm, while not straight just a mindless killing machine, is a little like the Cheshire Cat situation. It is malicious for its own entertainment at times. It has been like there are stories told of how cruel it can be just to be cruel.
Oh, this will go great.
Like it is a guardian, but like people don't try to talk with it generally. There is a tribe of people that live in this forest, and Iskra is a member of what was a member of that tribe. They talk to the Tetzelworm. Nobody else does. But that said, Arel does know the path through this forest. Like, Arel knows the spell that makes the golden path.
I know that we won't find the roses here, at least. They've gone away, but if you would be so kind as to lead us.
I shall. Arel summons her staff, and a warm glow comes from her as she leads the way through the forest.
At this moment, Thaddeus looks over at Renic. He's just like, "Are you writing this down?"
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Without question.
Like, I can't write while I'm walking. And he suddenly notices that you have 4 arms. Just like, lucky.
He is definitely riding with one pair and has like a sword drawn just in case in one of the others.
Yeah, as you're walking through Midnight, you feel good here right now. Like, walking on this path, like, you do not feel like you are about to be ambushed. And that is as much because you are a scout and, like, you can pick up on those things and, like, just a vibe you get from the woods that, like, as long as you are on this gold path, you are good. And, like, it's very much... I think the further you get into this forest, the further away from Dyad you get, you start seeing, it's not just a glow, like Arel is making legitimate golden bricks appear in the ground. Like, when you step on them, it has the sound of stepping on brick. And, like, you don't remember that happening like a second ago. And as you guys are looking around, the forest is getting more and more colorful. What do you guys think of this?
I think Midnight is definitely very interested in taking it all in, because it's definitely... His impression of it is that the magic is getting more intense the deeper into the forest they go. And it kind of reminds him of a place from home, just a little less chaotic than what that place was. So he's definitely... He doesn't have that unease that place would give him, just finds it beautiful.
So, you guys, as like, you see Midnight looking around, Renic, Arel, Jacob, Thaddeus, no, sorry, not Jacob. I don't know why I think of Charity, Arel, and Renic, and Thaddeus. You are walking, you see Midnight taking in the scenes, and all of a sudden, you see his communicator, like, go blank, and he collapses on his face. Just dunk. Midnight has collapsed. And I'm going to put the negative thing in the middle.
Charity spins around and crouches next to him. She looks at his communicator and is like, I've heard about this. This is bad for y'all. This is really bad. If the communicators go blank. Oh gosh. Do either of you have spare battery or something?
Arel checks their pockets. Still keeping the staff out. I don't feel like No, I don't. Sorry.
If you have a communicator, maybe... Oh, gosh. I'm not sure how it works entirely. If he has to be in range of one, but it has to be his own.
Has Renic been brought up to speed on this yet?
I definitely. We talked to Gemini about it the other day. That you guys definitely know, and like this is but they will have said everyone.
Okay.
They would have told you, Renic, that if you went too far, you would start losing AP.
Okay.
But you're as far as Midnight is, and Midnight would have just lost 1 AP. Mm-hmm. With the problem being Midnight is cursed to only have 1 AP.
I see. Okay. I think it is a distance thing, but I don't... Okay, anyway. So, like, he puts his book away and, like, tries to pick Midnight up and carry him back down the path just a few steps. And see if he gets better.
Okay, absolutely. They give, a mana battery that you can... Renic, you must have found it in your pocket.
Okay. Sure.
If you might have been studying them. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about the morality of what is a mana battery.
I don't think he necessarily has feelings one way or the other about it.
Absolutely. So the way it works is basically like an EpiPen into the communicator. The mana battery will like fill up his AP, but it will fill it to 1.
Sure. This seems like
Oh,
efficiency-wise, this seems not great, but this will help.
Charity had it.
Oh, Charity had it. My bad. Sorry,
Okay.
everybody.
She's like in her pockets and she's like, there's a note to... Oh, I'll have to talk to Adley later and thank her very much. And she just kind of shoves the battery towards Renic to help put it into Midnight's communicator.
Sure. So he says something to the effect of efficiency-wise, I mean, why would... Anyway, yeah, and goes ahead and does that.
Hey, Midnight, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
I have not, unfortunately.
There's a really good scene where Uma Thurman gets an adrenaline shot right to her heart. That is literally what just happened to you.
There's also The Rock, with Nick Cage and Sean Connery.
Oh yeah, that too. But that's him doing it to himself.
Yeah.
Or does he just kind of shoot up awake?
Yeah, you just like shoot straight up.
Okay, yeah, he just shoots up and is like, I'm awake! What the hell had just happened?
I was going to ask you the same thing. You just collapsed in the middle of the forest here. Your communicator battery seemed to have died. But I don't feel any different.
So, I suppose that there's something going on with you.
Yeah, I've kind of been keeping this quiet, but I did kind of sort of eat a curse.
You ate a curse?
How did it taste?
Well, eat is just the best way I could describe it, but yes, there was a situation with me and Silky. We were kind of trapped in a room with a guy who was cursed. Only way to break the curse was to sign a contract. I didn't like that idea. I didn't like the possibility of spreading the curse further to end up removing it, so I may have tried using my own magic to devour it and hopefully break it down, but that didn't go the way I hoped. So at this point, it's just a matter of figuring out how to extract the curse from myself some other way.
You guys all see Thaddeus, like, 2 paws, like, running down his face. He's just like, you got involved in bureaumancy?
Bureaumancy? Oh.
I just like... Arel, you would know that there is a subsection of, dragons that live in yoke with you, and instead of like being like academy focused, they are very legal based. Like everything they do is to like the T of rules. They are like kind of infuriating but absolutely lovable.
Are they the reason why lawyers have a special place in hell?
They are just, their section of yoke is called DLC.
Goodness.
And like their architecture doesn't match Yoke's architecture, but they've always been there. Like they've been there forever.
Yeah.
So do we know if Midnight's going to be okay for now to continue?
As long as you don't walk him down that path. Like I think Thaddeus is like marking a line where Midnight can't pass.
Okay. I don't want to have to make you stay behind, but at the same time, I feel we need to, well...
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of choice if we want to check this out, but I can run you down what I was thinking we need to check out these plants for, if that'll help you guys. I think that's all I can do in this kind of situation, unfortunately.
I'm gonna call that whole bit right there after Midnight goes down. I'm gonna call that my scene, and I'm just gonna say that it was let you guys say what it was, but I say how it ended. And I think it ended well. I think we know the line that the crew cannot pass. And we also know that it does not bother Imperial, and does not bother Renic in the least. Like, you can't contact the city. You become aware that, oh, I can't call the Silver Thimble out here.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't feel weak.
And
You're not
Charity's okay.
losing AP.
And Charity's okay too, correct?
Charity's okay as well. And almost for the same reason. Because you weren't part of the realities that were being smashed together. You two are fine. And Arel is fine because Arel is from this world.
Okay.
Alright, so what scene would you like to do, Renic?
I'm gonna pull the group for a scene, and then I'll decide how it ends.
Alright, sure. I'm real interested in seeing where this map that Midnight had, like what that leads to. If we go ahead.
So I was gonna say, sounds good to me.
Yeah, so like Midnight, where are we going in here? This map does not cross the line. Like, you could still find wherever this map is. You just can't go that extra bit to the west. And now that you have felt that happen, I think, Midnight, you have an instinctual knowledge of where that line is. Like, you can feel the crackling of you about to lose AP.
Okay, I think it's going to be kind of like in the deepest portion of the forest that can be on this side of the map. Like, just kind of in this area.
Sure, alright. What's it look like when we get there? What is there? And this, like, Charity, Arel, Renic, all three of you guys, I mean, four of you, can say what we find here.
Do we find a book or two? Sorry.
No, it's fine. Oh wait, no, that's right. I'm sorry. That you wanted the map to be from the west. I mean, from the east. That's right. We did Plum Bob. I'm sorry.
That's where the Woman of Ash.
Oh, yeah, that's Charity. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
I mean, Charity still wants to go west, but that's kind of like out the window right now. The Woman of Ash went east, and that's where we found the ancient tomb.
Yep. I got those two because they both involve Midnight. I got them mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what do we find here? It's like,
I mean, I have an idea. I just don't want to dominate things if someone else has something.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, with the pages that were burnt from the book, and the fact that the Ash Lady was looking for knowledge, I think there's something akin to, like, fragments of a word tree in that area. Like, basically something that's never going to become a true word tree, but some knowledge fragments from one that have somehow ended up in this forest. So, like, little sproutlings that are growing in that area.
I do enjoy that quite a bit. That is a bridge too far, but allow me to just, like, make it match the lore. If you don't like it, that's fine. So Ento, while he was on Paul the crocodile, he found a ring that looked like an open book, and that, I believe I told him, were as a signet ring of the page. I think you find an ancient, and I'm talking like basically just a smooth stone, but you can just make out some etching in it, and in that stone you see things that remind you of the scholars of the page from Liminal. Just like ancient, like they haven't been here in like thousands of years. This is like thousands and thousands of years old. These were the graves that Arel, like your people, knew about, like these catacombs under the forest. These are the original people that were here on this side. like the people that were on 1 were was this group of people called the Page.
Interesting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's all we know about them, right?
That is absolutely all. Like, I have just told you the most about it that exists.
Catacomb.
So we're in the catacombs, correct?
You were in the catacombs. This looks like an offshoot of it. Probably not an actual catacombs. This might have been like, I don't know, a library. But at this point, thousands of years exposed to being in this crazy forest. Well, the crazy forest hasn't been here for thousands of years, but you get what I mean. But yeah, how does getting here end for us, Renic? Like, did everything, is that a good or a bad outcome situation?
I think that is a good outcome situation, but I also imagined that line that Midnight can't cross runs like exactly halfway through this place.
Oh, that's sick. So the crew can't even come here and check it out until... That's very good. Till we get the 3rd tower set up, we can't go study that.
Sorry, guys.
We're gonna go for blood.
Yeah. Me trying to find another game to play in.
Oh, I'll give you games. I force you guys back on this planet. I want you guys like, no. I want to see how they react to this stuff. All right, and Arel, what kind of scene would you like? It can be at this place, continue to look for the Tesselworm, back at the library, whatever you would like.
I would like to continue on this place, since you mentioned it being an ancient library, or akin to one.
Yeah, it seems like it was probably something around that line, yeah.
Now, obviously, this might just be Arel speaking, being too much of a fan of books and literature, but, I mean, in every old, ancient tomb, there's got to be at least one secret passage, correct?
Oh, I don't know why there wouldn't be.
Arel is definitely... I think Arel's going to try and convince others to help her look for any ancient passageways, secrets, whilst also trying to make a markdown for where they can't pass over.
Yeah, so like you're looking around for a secret passage.
Yeah.
I think personally, like Thaddeus is like looking around and with his like encyclopedic knowledge of like all old fantasy books. It's just like you see him like going up to any tree branch that kind of looks like it might be a handle and pulling at it.
Renic like tiptoes up to the line. It's like it steps across it. This is fine, and starts to also look.
Just doing a jig on it. She's like, I don't know what's wrong with you, Midnight.
I imagine he's a lot more cautious about like approaching that, and is like, no, I don't feel anything, and shrugs at Midnight and like goes to help look for things.
All right, everybody. Do we think she finds one? Like, and put a positive in the middle if she finds one. Negative if you don't think we find a secret entrance.
I'm all for secret entrances.
Probably not.
All right, yeah. So, Arel, you find the secret entrance. First off, I know like people will be like, "Oh, what does it lead?" But no. I'm more interested in what opened it.
Well, in the middle of kicking at things, Arel may or may not have tripped over a tree branch, into another tree branch, and uncovered it that way. Because nothing beats the power of stupidity.
Can it be like one of those things where it's like Arel's just like tumbling through things and like lands on her butt, and like you're standing on a button, and then you just look over and Thaddeus is also just happens to be standing on another button, and then you look over and Midnight's like staring at the line, but he is also standing on one of those buttons.
If it wasn't for Midnight trying to push himself if he didn't take a little one step over the line, I don't think the third button would have been pressed.
And we just see like, yeah, that perfectly smooth stone that Midnight found, like, and like saw like pushes itself away and like out, and now it's just a cave downwards, or like a stairway downwards into just a dark hole in the middle of an incredibly dangerous forest. But yeah, like, let's Midnight, I would like to follow that scene directly if you're okay with that. I would like to give you a scene and you tell me how it goes.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm not sure what else to do with this situation.
All right.
We're to the east, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in the forest, but we're on the eastern side of the forest. We're right on the edge. Like, if you guys get lost down here, there's a very good chance that you will accidentally bump Midnight into the line, and he would fall down again.
Uh-oh.
And like, I think Midnight probably has a headache from that. You guys think being ripped out of reality for a second?
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
might cause a headache. So, Midnight, as everybody's going down, how are you lighting? Like, Midnight, you're in the lead. I just think that's how I want the scene to go. Do you have a light?
I think in this situation he would probably just be lighting a torch.
All right. Like, Midnight lights a torch, and like, you know how torches do. The torch's shadow is way bigger than Midnight's shadow. Everybody walking behind Midnight, you don't feel like the flickering of like Midnight's shadow getting in your face. And that's kind of bizarre. Like, it, and Thaddeus just looks at Renic. He's like, are you writing this down too?
I am now that I have some light to do so.
It's like, that's weird, right?
Yeah, that's really strange, especially for Midnight.
Yeah, Bureaumancy is fucking just, he's, ugh. What was the contract you were supposed to sign?
Oh, it was basically, originally it was take 9/10 of any money I earn, and to break the contract I would have to get 10 other people to sign it.
And you would have been buying a home somewhere?
So something like that, yes.
But you just said you can't go past here. Like, who would have brought... He looks over at Arel. Who would have brought folk song Bureaumancy into seasonal? And why is it so strong?
I mean, the practitioners of Bureaumancy, not many have known, but they are a very fickle bunch. They're always for self-gain, typically, or just for the general chaos of it.
Rogue petitioners. Fascinating. You see, Thaddeus sits down and he starts writing down too, but then he notices Midnight's light is getting ahead of him, so he has to keep like scooching.
He's doing the butt scooch.
He's definitely doing the butt scooch because he wants to write this stuff down. Alright, so Midnight, we come to a wide open room, like large domed ceiling. Like, you can tell, like it's not huge, but I'd say it's probably the size of like an apartment living room, basically. But it has a dome, like, and you can breathe easier in here than you've been on the walk down. And you tell me if it's a good room or a bad room and what you find.
I think it's going to be a good room.
All right, I'll drag up. Okay, you got it.
But I think it's going to have I think it's going to be from someone who, a term for someone who is important among the among the page, and going to have probably a little bit of background about them, maybe.
All right, like yeah. I think it says on the wall. And I think we'll probably use Arel to translate this, or Arel and maybe Renic spent a lot of time in space. So, nope, it's 100% Renic. Sorry, my bad. Renic, you can kind of read this. And that's slightly alarming to you, but it states, "Here lies the first of the librarians," and then like there's a name, and it's just, I believe it says Nikki B or Nikki Bugs. Huh.
Okay. Renic relays this information, but the whole time he's like, I think this is... I don't not know why, but this is kind of what I think it says.
That's the librarians. That's
An ancient people. Ancient, absolutely, like basically forgotten society. Like nobody has seen them on this side of the world in thousands of years. Like, and Thaddeus is just like, I could have sworn they were not but a myth.
this seems to indicate otherwise.
That is interesting. I mean,
Just
we
like,
have run into a librarian before, but this seems different. Like, it does not seem hostile like what we would be familiar with.
What do you mean before? Was this before the world changed, or is this?
Well, from before, the world changed because of a fight with a librarian. Someone came to basically absorb something and empower himself. Unfortunately, while we beat him, his presence caused some damage that we couldn't undo.
I see. And for the record, these are not tombs or anything, so Charity would not feel any kind of like lingering presence or anything.
There is nothing left alive in there. Like,
Well,
like not even like nothing left alive, but not even like the bacteria, not even the memories of something. Like whatever it is just dust. And also, you would have to desecrate a grave of this person.
Yeah, no.
Which I'm down. You guys want to fucking just go grave rob and fucking knock yourselves out.
I mean, what are we? How close are we to like an actual town?
The closest town is probably shit. Nika told me how to pronounce it the other day. The Mayor's town. Amran. You are close to Amran, which is here, and you are I guess you're kind of close to you're about as far away from Delve or Amran as possible. You're not very close to Holt. Holt's down here.
I mean, I don't want to go breaking a law by grave robbing.
If there's any kind of soul left, I doubt it after thousands of years. I don't feel anything.
Am I able to use one of my abilities right now?
Sure, what you got?
Use that to take cough.
Sorry, what was that?
I had the cough there.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of using Evil Eye.
To like peek in?
To see what the worst thing was that happened around here, to see if it would be safe to grave rob or not.
Yeah. So you do the evil eye to see that the worst thing that happened was, and you see the Tetzelworm, like, ripping into a... It's somewhere between, like, a tabor and a grizzly bear, but the size of an elephant.
Oh, lovely.
And, like, you just see this Tetzelworm just ripping it to shit for, like... And, like, you watch, like, it was because this creature just walked across the line that just, like... And you saw the Tetzelworm come flying from, like, incredibly far north at a speed and just, like, a malice that you wouldn't believe possible in just a creature of just, like, flesh and bone.
Thank you. Well, we could definitely... I mean, we could grow from it, but there's like a... maybe a 60-40% chance that the whim shows up.
I would say let's not piss off the worm. I mean,
Considering that I'm
I think-
probably already on its shit list, to say the least, I will avoid trying to.
Just in
Open
case
this
everybody doesn't know what the worm more or less looks like. Give me 1 second.
Charity's only ever seen it
More
from
or
the-
less.
Yeah.
He's big and scary. He looks like the Cheshire Cat too a little bit. I think it's great. It's actually so big that when you see the other side, when we do eventually show the other side of the map, it's on it. Like, that's how big it is. Like, it's bigger than some cities. Alright. So, what would Charity's scene be?
It's tough to say.
Like, and again, we can move around. Like, we can be done investigating this tomb and be somewhere else in the forest, like tracking down the root systems that, like, because Eris and, like, Eris was here, not Eris, Arel was here with Iskra and Rosie and Clovis, and they also had to deal with a lot of the roses, and they saw a lot of weird stuff around them too. So, like, you guys tracking down how far west, which path it took is definitely up in the air. If you like it.
Oh, definitely. She would ask Arel to come, and of course Renic too, because he seems to be able to. No offense to Midnight, they seem to be able to go further into the forest. Or, like, I don't know how far we'd have to go to track those root systems, but I would imagine pretty far.
Yeah. Do you have a scene in mind, or would you like somebody else to give you one? Because I'm always good with giving people scenes.
Yeah, give me a scene.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So, sorry about that, everyone. You're all walking through, and Thaddeus and Renic, I think you two, obviously I'm Thaddeus, but Thaddeus and Renic, I think those two are just really putting in the, like, work at figuring out a consistent pattern that makes, like, the math work, almost like looking for the, like, the golden ratio in the Fibonacci sequence situation. I think Thaddeus is, like, deeply believing that if he can just math it out, he can just get through this place. So as you guys are going through, you are seeing the scars that were left in the ground. Arel and Midnight, Midnight, you are seeing a path, like, a kind of path that is only made by deer running through a forest, like, for generations. You know what I mean?
Yep.
but it happened suddenly. It did like very minor damage, but you can tell like it's very strange that it looks like a literal bush ran through this forest.
The living plants here, perhaps? Interesting.
Like, at midnight. Oh, go ahead.
I do know that the roses are migrating. So.
Oh, that is concerning. Actually, now that you mention it.
Yes, it was with the Sierra and Adley. We did some research, and it appeared that they were going west, deeper into the forest.
All right. So I'm about to get weird. So
it's always a good thing to hear from the game master.
Oh yeah.
You get to a part, and like most of it has had a lot of overcast, the way that you guys have been walking. But like there's this one section where the trees just aren't quite as dense, so you can see the sky, and you can see the fact that like it rained yesterday, and you see that storm moving off in the distance, and it's just like. Also, in case anybody's curious, that rain was 100% caused by Osiria going crazy in her game. And just basically summoning the biggest fucking storm this side of the planet's ever seen. And that is now going across folk song right now. That's not stopping for a while. Like, there's basically a thunderstorm that is gonna feel like the end times for people heading that direction.
This feels uncomfortably familiar.
But it's not gonna like kill anybody, like nothing like that. It's just gonna be a really cool thunderstorm that people can enjoy watching from like their porch. But anyway, this part is kind of wet, and you're pretty deep into the forest, and like you start to see footprints. And midnight, you're starting to see them, and you see like they're in sets of 2, like normal humanoid legs, but then there's just like they're way too close to each other, and they're like some of the legs don't have another landing of them, and it's just like it looks like somebody took a left and a right mannequin foot and just kind of stomped it all over the place to make it look like like a bunch of people were running this way, but did not care about where they would, like, if they lined up correctly.
Hey guys, take a look at this for a moment. I've seen some strange tracks in my time, but
I'm not a
nothing like this.
But...
Yeah, I understand, but
they do look a little odd.
It's kind of like they have like their feet don't match.
I see what you were saying. Yeah.
And then like upon further like looking at them, it's just like they don't match like on legs, but every single foot is the exact same size. Well, every right foot is the same size, and every left foot is the same size.
Do they look like in the dirt, or like does it? It doesn't look like it's made of roots, does it?
I mean, Charity, what do your footprints when you're not wearing shoes or socks look like?
I would assume normal.
They look exactly like what Charity's feet size look like. But I guess the one difference is you can't see as much separation between the toes. Like the toes are fused together. Almost like an unfinished like action figure.
A serious theory. It was. Oh dear, it was correct. I fear.
I'm gonna throw this big old negative in here for you. There we go. One big old negative.
Well, what was this Siri?
The Rose's root system, it's me. They formed a shape into, well, me, and that the Roses have. I think that they're divorced from the other energy that interfered in it, but
They probably used you as a base, but I don't think it's directly you. But they probably used you as a base in some form.
Yes, it has some kind of trace of my magic and my essence, for lack of a better word. So it's not me. It just is adapting to me, perhaps adapting a shape to me, like the eyes in the blooms were my eyes. And it is going west. I'm not sure what's out west. Why? I can only assume it has something to do with necromancy. When I first came to this world, the creatures that were after me, they wanted my magic. Or they wanted to eat my magic, I guess, is what it felt like.
I'm sorry.
Or was that...
No, it like that wanted to consume your magic, absolutely. Like that thing did. The roses are a weird amalgamation of a bunch of magic and like your blood.
Yeah.
Okay, you explained the vampiric plant part to Arel earlier, correct? You guys
correct,
said,
yes.
Yeah. So Arel, like, Arel and Midnight, you two are standing like side by side, like looking, like mapping out where, like the direction, the exact direction. And Midnight, you can't go any further than you are right now. Like, you know that you are at the line of this forest for you.
Okay.
Arel, for a little distance, you walk in front of Midnight to follow the path that these feet prints go. And then I am not going to share it with people of where this vampiric plant went, but everybody else, like looking at Arel, notices her face go much paler. Like, I think you just drop a fucking skin tone instantly at the concept of where this plant just went. Where this plant must be. It's like some kind of vampiric blood necromancy plant in the location it just went. That is the worst thing you could imagine.
Oh, heavens. Not a fan.
Are you unwell? She's looking at they're looking at Arel like.
I wanna close that scene right there, and we're gonna do the part of Fiasco where we do what's called a tilt. So everybody click your cards and flip them over. Like, there is a way to do it.
Oh, like the cards.
If you right click it and flip it.
Is it the one in our hands?
No, the ones the negative and positives. Those ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. So what we do now is we add them up. Like, so I've got a 7. So, and Renic has a 1, a negative 1 basically. He has a red 1. Arel has a positive 5. Midnight has a positive 4, and
I have positive 6.
Charity has like red 6. It used to be called negative, but when they changed the game, it's like so.
Okay.
Me and Charity, like Charity and Thaddeus, have to choose one of their tilts, and that happens to the game. So the tilts. Oh, go ahead.
Make mine bigger because I can't.
Oh yeah, let me.
I see the word death though.
1 second, yeah. Okay, so Charity has Mayhem, an out-of-control rampage, or tragedy, a death out of the blue. And Thaddeus has failure, something precious is on fire, or failure, a tiny mistake leads to ruin. And like both of these are just going to happen. Like we narrate how they happen, but it is up to us. I have a terrible idea. Like, I'll pitch it to you. You guys can tell me if you think it's too mean. Failure, something precious is set on fire. I think that book, A Garden of My Own, like, something about, like, the trace magic in this area, like, reignites it, and it just goes up.
Yeah, that was precious.
It is something precious is set on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, that book was one of our leads.
But, Charity, do you want an out-of-control rampage? And I think we all know what would be out-of-control rampaging.
Yeah.
Where we are right now. Or do you just want to cut to the chase and fucking kill someone?
I mean, I wanted to go with the rampage. I don't think that...
You don't think it's time for just straight up murder yet? Because I was like, the only character you really could is just Thaddeus and just like take him out, I guess.
Yeah, no. That's what I was thinking. It's like, well, I wouldn't want it to be like, I don't want that power over another player character. But also, like, no, I don't want to kill the cat. No, he's cool, man. He runs a library.
It's just like this fucking wild way for Thaddeus to like. It's the exact same thing. It's the ramp. It's the Tetzelworm like chasing you guys out of the forest, but he doesn't make it out.
Yeah, no. The out of control rampage.
All right, everybody. So, is it like you think there was a spell around here to like keep the information secret? And just like when Midnight's like holding the book, A Garden of My Own, like, and just like trying to like make out what those pages might have said, you just suddenly see it burst into flames.
Yeah, some kind of like self-destruct spell put in when someone gets too close.
And then it just like goes up, and then like at the same time, like, Midnight, are you the kind of person that like is Midnight the person that reaches down and tries to like does the thing where you grab a clearly like burnt to shit book and do the shake it thing a little bit?
No, he's very much tries to wrap it up in something, but I think with it burning in his hand, he probably drops it from just from his hand nearly catching fire.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Just doing the like shaking your paws out thing. And
yeah, he basically just burns his hand, he drops it, shakes his paw, but he probably dropped it on something not good to drop it on in this forest.
Renic, what has caught you and Thaddeus's undivided attention in this forest right now? Like, something, you two are just staring dead at something, and like it could be something very interesting and like mathematical or like magical. What has your attention?
The golden bricks that Arel has been creating.
Ah, okay.
When they stepped back or stepped forward, there was something different about them in the distance that we could see.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and is Arel like, Arel, are you with those two right now, like testing the limits of your spell?
Yes, I am.
Right, so like, Renic, you and Thaddeus are pretty far away from Midnight. Midnight's still basically where you left him because he's at the line and he can't go any further. But it seems safe. He seems safe where he is. And Thaddeus just like, yes, they get significantly more. And like, you start to realize the further west you go, the palette of the whole world shifts slightly. You and Thaddeus are measuring out exactly how many steps you have to go before you cross into this world is cuter. Thaddeus looks over at this side is cuter. He looks over at Renic. Is that the right word? And you do notice it's a little bit more pastel, a little bit more like fairy tale. Like somebody put fairy tale filter on your phone in
Sure.
real life.
Oh no.
I suppose that is a word you could use for it.
And well, it just looks like home. This is right. No, this is the way the world's supposed to look, and not a fucking an early 1930s comic.
We love fuchsia leaves.
So yeah, and then Charity is back with Midnight, and Midnight at that point is when Midnight pulls out the book, and it bursts into flames, and he's shaking his hand, and I'm sure Charity, as a doctor, kind of a doctor,
Yeah.
is trying to help him out with his burn, and then
Yeah.
at the same time you feel it, Charity, just a shaking. And then Midnight, the smell of brimstone from that is coming. Now that your hand stopped hurting, your nose is full of the smell of brimstone from that book.
Ah, shit, a protection spell.
So was that person they trying to stop us?
And then you guys
Probably.
look over, and the Tatzelworm is coming over the trees like a tsunami.
Oh crap. I don't think he's amenable to talking right now.
When I would be about to speak up and probably looking over towards the book that probably caught fire to something in the forest is crap.
Is there any way to
Run.
stop on the book to stop it from?
Oh, the Tatzelworm is on you. He's in a rampage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no defending ourselves against that, so booking it.
Just
Yeah.
and you three, Thaddeus, Renic, and Arel, turn around and see it, the place that you left, and it felt like seconds ago while you were measuring it out. But you guys can travel when you're traveling on the path. You travel much faster. It's the 7 league boots situation when you're walking this path. When the magic is working right and not some weird roses dragging the magic down. So yeah,
The roses are gone.
the roses are gone. Somebody give me a good or a bad way that this scene of mine ends.
I assume we're able to outrun the Tetzelworm.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
Oh,
not
God.
sure now.
Yeah. Oh god.
We got a
Okay.
negative. Okay. So you're charging, we're charging through the forest, and I think we all get split up. I think
Yeah.
somehow we all end up running different directions. As the Tatzelworm's snake whip tail is cleaving through some of these trees.
Maybe charity trips.
Yeah, and so we're all over the charity trips. Thaddeus gets launched into a tree. And what happened to Renic? Where's Renic?
I imagine he tries to teleport and things don't work right.
You try to cast teleport and it doesn't work?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
something goes wrong.
All right. Do you just want to start with the negative, or do you want to try? Is this a scene about it? Okay, so that's how you got into your situation. You stopped. real quick.
Yeah.
All right, I gotcha. All right. So what immediately happens after Renic realizes that the teleport won't work right, and you don't see any of your party?
I imagine he no longer knows where he is.
Oh, absolutely. This whole forest is terrifying. But you did just math out what it looks like when you're more to the west.
Right. I don't. So he's not. Is he on the path still or no?
No, the path got like
Okay.
the second like the Arel's concentration got broken by the
Sure.
council worm. We
Mhm.
lost the path.
Okay. I think his first instinct is to try and get a vantage point and figure out where he is. So he pulls out the slap-on jets and tries to get a look above the trees.
Oh yeah, awesome. So the slap-on jets, if you guys don't know, are like a thing from the sci-fi games. They literally just like slap. Are they on your feet? Do you like?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
He just slaps him on his feet.
Yep, and they just work like little mini jet engines. So yeah, like you get to the top of it. All right. I'm gonna ask you to roll me a 20-sider.
Sure.
All right. So you rolled an 18. I am gonna give you some neat stuff.
Okay.
To the east, you like from this vantage, like you see Dyad, like over top of the trees. It's still quite a ways away, but those castles are quite tall. They're meant to be imposing. That's what happens when you look to the east. When you look to the west, there is definitely a moment that, like, I don't know if Renic's jaw drops when he sees like weird shit.
Depends. He's seen a lot of weird shit at this point.
Like, hold on. Do I say it out loud, or do I just tell Renic? Because that's fun. Nika says it's a secret. I'm gonna message Renic what he sees, but Renic, don't tell other people.
Okay, you got it.
Alright, where is the...
I feel like I'm getting the whispers from Critical Role.
But I don't watch Critical Role. Is that the thing that they do? That'd be fun.
Every once in a while, yeah.
I sent it to you on Discord. That is what Renic sees.
Huh. That's to the west, you said?
That is to the west.
Huh. Okay. Does he see anything that would indicate where the rest of these people are?
Yeah, I think that you can look down and who does he see, guys? Like, oh, like you guys tell us. Like, Midnight or Arel or Charity. Do you guys? Is negative means he doesn't see you guys, but positive means he does see you.
I'm gonna say the way Charity trips, she's kind of obscured by some brush, and
I said, like, he does not see Charity.
right.
Like, how? I'm gonna say negative. I'm gonna give you the negative and say that no, you just don't happen to see him.
Cool.
And how was Arel? Like, how? Like, what happened when you lost focus on your spell, and then lost the rest of the party?
Well, the light I was around. I'm now in a probably pretty dark area of the forest, seeing as I no longer have the light next to me. But with a downtime on casting that spell again, I've got to try and find my way to at least one of the party members, I'd say. But I do have a spell for this occasion. If I would be allowed, am I good to cast it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I will be using Shadow Seek. But I'm not familiar with the spell too much, but I've had practice. and it allows me to seek the location of a specific creature or object. So I'm just gonna roll a 20-sider.
Oh no, you don't have to roll a 20-sider. We'll decide if the negative or the positive.
Okay. I'll specifically be looking for Midnight, since I need to keep an eye on where he is.
I'm gonna give you the negative because of it being Midnight and you using Shadow Seek.
Interesting.
Like the spell goes right past Midnight multiple times. Midnight, you feel eyes on you. You feel somebody looking for you. Like, you know the spell Shadow Seek. You've done it yourself. You can feel that somebody's doing it, but there is more to your curse than you originally knew.
Ooh. Okay.
This just makes you want to experiment with it more.
So Arel, like, you are like wandering the woods and like, you know, you should be finding him. He should be around here somewhere. But then like, I think with it is you will see that you are now deeper into the forest without your protection of magic, and you hear a low growling coming up behind you.
Oh.
I think that's where we're gonna call that scene, if that's okay with you.
That's fine with me.
Absolutely. All right, Midnight. You know that people are out there. You know that they are looking for you. The forest is eerily quiet, except for a low growl in the distance. What is your scene?
Oof. I was originally thinking I was going to be chased by the worm because I didn't really have a real escape method, but if it's elsewhere, went after someone else, I think I want someone to suggest one.
Anybody got a scene for Midnight? No pressure, though. I'll do it if you guys don't want to.
Would he go toward the growly?
Yeah, I mean, we can send him towards the ground. What happens to him when he gets there? What does he find? Does he find Arel under attack? Or...
That's what I was thinking. Like, her scene ended with...
Yeah, I'm down with that. If you're good, if you are good to be fighting right now, Arel.
I'm down.
Alright, yeah, I think that's just straight up the tassel worm has like bared down its teeth at Arel. And I think he just like is snapping his teeth and like in an old language he's repeatedly calling Arel little dragon.
Would I understand that?
Yeah, I would say so.
I'll go. Fine.
You are quite big for people size.
It's small in dragon sense.
And Renic, I think right now you see it as well. Like, I think all three of you, and I think everybody can get in on this scene, but Midnight's the one that's going to be there first. And like, it is like, Midnight, you see the tassel worm like bares all of its teeth, and it's just like, it says something that Arel understands that is something along the lines of not too strong without your protection spells. And then he's about to bite. The tassel worm is about to bite at Arel. What is Midnight gonna do? And give me a positive or the negative.
Okay.
That one's a straight Midnight giving me the positive.
I think I'm going to go positive, and I actually have an object card that I think is going to be perfect for this situation.
Sure, hit me with it.
I have a mana battery.
What are you doing?
Midnight is going to use the mana battery to bring out his shadow whips and try to restrain the tassel worm while shouting, "Run!" to Arel. He's not expecting to hold the worm for long. He's just trying to bind and confuse it a bit, wrapping around its eyes, wrapping around its body, just to kind of pull it away and force it to have to break free from that before it can chase them further. And he's going to try to grab Arel and start running.
Absolutely. Charity, did you want to extend just from that scene, or do you want to go to us already being out of this place? It's completely up to you.
Did he manage to get the Tetzelworm off of Arel?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You see, like, Midnight runs in, uses, like, his tendrils of shadow, which I have to say it. I'm going to be very clear. When he's using it with the mana battery, fuck, that's going to look really My Hero Academia then, isn't it? Because I was going to say, it's like using, like, the Black Whip move situation, but it's, like, arcing with green lightning the way that the mana batteries are. Because, like, he's powering his abilities with straight mana battery, not, like, his own AP. And that's sick.
I'm curious. I have a curiousness.
I'm going to say that makes a lot of noise, and Charity goes into that direction.
Oh yeah, you could have been right there.
Yeah. Yeah, she is right there, and she sees a Tetzelworm. She sees Midnight looking like
Midnight's all Deku over
fucking
here.
awesome.
Just fucking pulling down this Tetzelworm, like grabbing up Arel and just running. Yeah, did you do your transformation, you think?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with it. Make it more interesting.
Like full on transforms, all like Sailor Moon. If we're going anime, go anime, you know?
Yeah.
And you also still got that belt that makes you like crazy strong, right?
I do actually, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So like first, like I'm not saying that Midnight could stand toe to toe with a Tetzelworm for any amount of time, not really. But I bet Midnight could sucker punch it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Just take ammo to just get a good punch in to stun it, so he has time to escape a little bit.
Like help Arel up, and like you and Arel can like evade. Arel just scrambled right now. Like that was like too close. Like everything's great, like intellectually, but maybe you don't really need to see the Tetzelworm that close.
No.
I think you might a little like regain another respect for just libraries.
Although I did have one out for it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could have gotten away, but like it's just like nobody wants to be in that situation. Okay, and what's the rest of your scene, Charity? I'm sorry.
Maybe trying to go in and pull Arel away while Midnight has the Tetzelworm distracted, and being like, we must leave now with all haste. Would Charity be able to know what direction to get out to head back, or?
All right, Imperial, Arel, and Midnight, would Charity know that this is up to you? To be fair, she'll have no idea which one of you did it if you do negative to her, though.
I'll leave that to Midnight.
Yeah. Probably not, and also she's in a panic.
Is it? Okay, so...
And the Tetzelworm... I don't know if the Tetzelworm would know her. Oh shit. Know her magic, probably.
I don't... Are you... By panicking, do you mean that you are going to, like... just panic and spike a spell on accident? Is that what happened?
I've always had it, like, it's in her backstory, like, under times of great stress, like, it's not like she's intentionally casting magic or anything. It kind of leaks out of her. That's why they always wear the gloves.
Absolutely.
So they don't accidentally infect anybody around them, but it kind of still, like, I would imagine some of that essence kind of leaks out.
I think that like, let's stay true to it. Like, I don't think that the negative means that you don't know your way out of this forest. I think that negative means you touch something in here with your bare hand.
The glove got ripped off.
A glove got ripped off, and like you caught yourself on a tree, and you watched just that tree just like infected with that blight the same way that like when you accidentally hit Pim with the spell. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's exactly that. You guys watch this tree definitely get an infection, and then I want to be fair to Charity. I want to say that Charity is trying to stop it, but like you just can't pull it back, you know?
Yeah.
You can't undo.
Yeah.
And while that's going on, I would like to take it at from Thaddeus and from here with Thaddeus, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Thaddeus is going to like come like running up, and you see in his mouth, like running up, I mean like all fours, in his mouth is the brick that Renic dropped when he went into the sky after the Tasselworm attack, and it immediately becomes like a chainsaw. Don't know how he knows. No, he hung out with the lumberjacks. We already discussed this. We're good. Chainsaws in a cat's mouth works, and he immediately is trying to cut down this tree before like this infection can spread. He is just like been studying these roses himself on free time, and like he jumps at this like tree trying to do like pirate lingo. He's just yelling yo ho ho and just like slamming this chainsaw into the tree. Does it get done? Somebody please tell me in the middle. Okay, it does. Thank you guys. And so yeah, he manages to cut the top of the tree off before it starts doing the blistering. And you see the bottom of it, like all the bark starts like popping off of it as the blistering happens. And Charity, you know that this tree is about to explode.
She screamed, "Run! Get away from it!"
Like Renic from above, you can help people, like you can lead people out of the forest and like point to a clear path.
Okay.
Like if you are interested, I'm trying to speed it up because we are running out of time.
Yeah.
I don't
He
think we...
just points in the it points east. It says that way. That at least leads back to Dyad.
And yeah, I think we're all like back at the library again, as just like the five of us exhausted. Just Thaddeus just like, you drop this to Renic, and then he collapses on the floor sideways.
Charity is going to find new gloves immediately. She doesn't even talk to anybody. She is just looking for new gloves, and she is in full-on panic mode.
Right.
Yeah, that was something.
Oh shit, I have one extra card. All right. We ended that as a positive, but I shouldn't have gotten that one. I shouldn't have gotten another scene. Because I already had 3, but that's fine. So everybody flip over your last card.
Oh, which one?
Okay.
Okay. I can make you guys' cards bigger.
Okay,
You
yeah,
need me to.
mine's right here. I can't.
Please.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And did you need yours made bigger, Arel?
If you don't mind, please.
No, I don't mind at all. So then we add up the points and subtract them from each other. So Arel has a positive 3 in total because you subtract red from blue or blue from red, doesn't matter. I have ended it at a positive 4, and Charity ended at a negative 7, and fucking Midnight killed it with a positive, what's that, a 9?
9, yeah.
All right, let me see. And this is going to be up to interpretations, everybody, because like aftermath cards are the same cards for every fiasco set. So I ended up with a 4, positive 4. So shocking. Well, that was humiliating. My reputation is now in dirty pieces all around me, and I'll never think of these days without a shudder of horror at my own aggressive ignorance. I think my best days are behind me. That is too sad.
Oh, poor Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is just like that. Yeah, I think that's why Thaddeus doesn't join the crew. Like, I think that is what actually goes wrong with the bounty for getting like somebody on their side. And I was trying to give you guys Thaddeus. I was going to, but I think Thaddeus is just like, he's a little beat up. Like, he feels good about like he had a second. It's just like, for a moment, I felt like a pirate. Thank you all.
I'm gonna find Thaddeus to One Piece.
So then we got, you have the negative 4, Renic.
I do have negative 4.
Horrendous. I failed, that's for sure. Failed hard, and I'm pretty sure something is broken. And I made limp, and maybe this limp will be permanent. And there's no way my reputation is ever gonna recover from this foolishness. You don't have to take it nearly that dramatic.
Okay.
But like, yeah. You can narrate just basically like Renic. How's Renic like? Because that is like broad strokes the level of success that you had.
Renic he's very disheartened. He was brought in as like an expert in magic, and he couldn't do anything. Like all we really established was apparently some of the crew can't go past this line, but he can. Like, what the hell's up with that? And more questions than answers at this point.
I really look forward to like Renic testing the theory of just like, all right, Karam, can you come walk right here for me? Good. How do you feel? A little dizzy? Nice. Push him back. It's just like Krieg. And it's like, little dizzy? Nice. Midnight one more time, and Midnight just passes out. It's like, yep, still happens. All right. And where did you ended at 3? For This is so bad. Arel, repulsive. Most likely I'm not dead on the outside, but I'm sure as hell dead on the inside. The emotional and mental wounds I've suffered, those will never heal. The future is a brick wall. It's so dramatic.
This is very in line for Arel, don't worry.
Traumatized by the Tesla woman.
Arel is traumatized by the fact she had such a genius plan for the Professor Worm, which ended again saved. But she says she had a genius plan, she didn't. She was just going to throw a lemon in its mouth. But in serious tones, Arel wishes she found more for that day, since looking for magic is her whole thing. But she got some answers, but mostly more questions, and a desire to learn more about what's affecting Midnight.
Absolutely, yeah. That is what I want. I want you guys to be interested in Midnight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I really want to play that game. All right, so Midnight got unfortunate. Let's agree to call this a win. No, wait, it's not. It's just 9. Let's agree to call this a win.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Midnight, you probably feel the best out of it. Like, you learned stuff. I mean, sure, you lost the book after it burnt up, but you're not the...
Go
ahead.
Learned a little bit. Learned that there might be something for figuring out one of the bigger mysteries of Liminal that they kind of left behind. Maybe gain some lost details on the librarian and the scholars at some point if they could figure out how to get past that line.
Oh yeah, there's a story going on about Midnight right now, by the way. Like, because like Thaddeus won't shut up. Like Thaddeus will be telling everybody about how Midnight 1v1 the Tatzelworm. For sure.
Yeah, that was definitely that was definitely a moment.
I think there's gonna like it in the show of this. There is a scene of a man sitting at a bar, and he's got 12 swords stuck in his back, and somebody's telling him the story of how Midnight 1v1 the Tatzelworm, and he's just like he like throws back his drink and laughs. He's like, "Tell it again." And then, for charity, I have a strong feeling I'm also going to jail.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess metaphorically, like if it's not a real jail, but like being held responsible for what's going on in this forest.
Yeah, she's going to be beating herself up about this for a while, and she's going to be. They're gonna have to drag her out to get her to do anything. She's well, in the group at least. She does not trust herself to be around people and not to like bring danger to them and to hurt others. However, unintentionally, she doesn't want that to happen. So
is the desire to figure out the full mystery of the rose bush and like solve that problem greater than your desire to hide away?
Yes, if only because she feels like she has to erase the damage done. As best she can.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I can see how this game ended poorly for like in character wise for multiple of the characters, but I think you guys did so much good setup for this, and this was another such successful game of Fiasco for me. Like
That was fun.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Great
like
game.
this game is wild. Like obviously you have to like if you want to play it the way that we do, you have to make your own decks because like there is no like Wander Crew deck, and there's no Wander Crew deck for very specifically, hey, I want to do a mission. I want to do a game where like it's the academics figuring out what magic is like in the world.
Yeah.
And like I had no idea which direction this game was gonna go about like the going to the woods. Like it was definitely like on a thing, but like I showed earlier, there was a hymnal card, there was a consonant card. Like you guys could have been like all over the world, and we just happened to focus on that forest again. I love this game. It's a very good game. Thank you guys for playing this game with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, you guys are welcome. This is awesome. I like the game
and
we play.
Charity would still want to help Midnight with that brimstone person because.
Oh, absolutely. We're locking these in.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the map found in a textbook. We know about where that area is. But here's the thing: do you guys tell people about it, but keep the location secret?
I would say no.
No.
Personally, since more people working on it means we can pinpoint the location better now since it's been burned.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are other volumes by that same person, as what Thaddeus said.
Yes.
So Charity will also, that would be something to keep an eye on.
Yes, Caustic. That map's got to be burnt too. But like they've been to that spot, so they can show you guys back. I had to burn the whole thing to lose something precious.
What I'm thinking, this would be an Arel thing. Obviously, since there's more volumes, it means there is an author out there in the world to look for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Give me Midnight and Arel. Give me a 20-sider.
Oh, okay.
Arel rolled an 18, and Midnight rolled a 15. You both at the same time, like as you're stopping to think, it's just like, who is the author? Who is the author? And if like you stop and like remember, it's just like and look to Thaddeus, who had obviously read it before. It's just like if you ask him who the author is, it's like, I think he had a letter for a first name. Like he just initial and then his last name. And I think it's Ezekiel. That's right. So you guys are looking for the volumes you've read volume 1 of A Garden of My Own by Ezekiel.
I have to ask, I was not present during that set of games. Would Midnight know about Ezekiel?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever seen his name spelled out. Like, you have to actually say it like phonetically out loud to realize like it is Ezekiel, like name-wise. And you you have no reason to actually believe that it's him. Because A, he's dead. But B, this is a weird world. So maybe. Like, you've probably heard somebody say the name.
I think since Arel's definitely knew her, she won't know the person.
Real quick, this is the pitfall of dropping fun little things like that. Ezekiel was the first snailsman. He wanted to build his own world, and he didn't care who he hurt to do it. So he was taking Vatna's cocoon while Vatna was still like a worm before Vatna became a person. And he was building a map out of threads of reality. And he was taking interdimensional beings' blood as ink to like draw the map. And he wanted to build his own world so badly. And all he wanted to do was he did it because he wanted to be left alone. He didn't want anybody to know his name. He was terrified. He was incredibly paranoid. And then he went a little crazy and tried to destroy the word tree, which is, if he had, everybody on the planet would have lost all knowledge of everything they think.
Ooh, not a good person.
Yeah, he just kind of misunderstood. But yeah, not the best. He was unscrupulous. He didn't care who he hurt as long as he got what he wanted. But that is the end of Love from the Other Side. And what's great is we got to see the other side of the forest, so that it all like worked together. It's like, yeah, that song was the loosest of the ones this month. So I would like to thank Imperial and Kuari and Jacob and Eris for coming and playing this game. You guys did amazing. Just absolutely crushed it.
I gave my character more trauma. It's good.
Like,
Hey.
Whatever builds character. And like, can't wait to see. Like, I can't wait to see like how we get rid of Midnight's Curse now, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. And all of the other breadcrumbs that were laid. So thank you all for coming. We are playing a game on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is going to be Dance Off. That is where Leo, Gemini, Tarkus, and last minute addition to the game, Valentina, are going to show off their dance moves in an epic street battle to see who... Krieg would have been in it, but he was on the wait list. So if Valentina can't make it, Krieg, you're tagging in. I want to see Krieg breakdance anyway. So thank you guys all so much for playing. I don't know if Nika has any more goodbyes to say. Am I holding down this button still?
You are.
All right.
No,
Yep.
my mute or unmute button was not working. Okay, so yeah, that is everything for us. In the Art Share channel, the finalists from yesterday's art fair competition are up. You might have to scroll up a little bit. I'll pin it for you guys. So if you have not voted, make sure you vote. And then, depending on the results,